Hi, this is Elder Joseph, and I'm going to speak to you about something that happened to the Mormon Church in the year 2007, or at least it hit the headlines in the year 2007, and it concerns a change in the Book of Mormon introduction, but I see this as more than a change. This is to do with the claims of the Book of Mormon and the claims of the Mormon Church as to who the Indians are and who they're descended from. So first, let's just see the news item and then we'll get back to it.
Mormons believe the Book of Mormon contains the history of ancient civilizations which lived somewhere on the American continent. The introduction to the Book of Mormon says one of those civilizations, called Lamanites, are the principal ancestors of the American Indians. But today, the church announced it intends to change that introduction. All future copies of the Book of Mormon will say that the Lamanites are among the ancestors of the American Indians. The change is subtle, but important to people who debate the book's authenticity. In recent years, the church has come under fire by critics who point to a lack of DNA evidence supporting the LDS claims.
So you've seen the item, the introduction has been changed. Now, I'm well aware that this introduction was written by Bruce McConkie. I'm not surprised it's wrong, because Bruce McConkie has a track record of getting many things wrong. Not just one thing, many things. This guy was wrong on a lot of occasions. But what I want to know is, who's changed Bruce McConkie's words? Can this guy be trusted any more than Bruce McConkie? Well, I doubt it very much. And I'd like to know who changed the words of Bruce McConkie. Okay, so that's first question to church members. Who's changed them words? Who thinks they've got authority to actually change the words of Bruce McConkie? Anyway, put that aside. Let's have a look at the Book of Mormon introduction. So here we go. Here's what my introduction looks like, and I've got this great arch of truth at the side of it, you know, shaped in a keystone. You know, the Book of Mormon is the keystone, the arch of our religion. If this book is baloney, the whole thing collapses. I love that saying. Anyway, here we go, close up, and there's the statement. After thousands of years, all were destroyed except the Lamanites, and they are the principal ancestors of the American Indians. Now we're told that they're not the principal ancestors of the American Indians. Okay? So now we're told that they're not the principal ancestors of the American Indians. Okay? So let's get this straight. Lamanites are not the principal ancestors of the American Indians. But now it says that the Lamanites are among the ancestors of the American Indians. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Alright, does anybody understand this? Okay, the problem here is that the American Indians, they're not descendants of Lamanites. I mean, I'm looking forward to the Book of Mormon change that's coming, when every page is blank. Okay, that's going to be the latest Book of Mormon, and I'm not going to hang around in this organisation waiting for that day, and it'll come. There'll be a Book of Mormon, the introduction will have disappeared, First Nephi will have disappeared, every single page will have disappeared, and that'll be the most honest version they've ever had of the Book of Mormon. Okay, what does the Book of Mormon tell us about itself? Second Nephi, it's talking about a book that's going to be carried forth to the remnant of our seed. Well, who's a remnant of this seed? If the American Indians are not descendants of Lamanites anymore, who's this seed that needs to know the knowledge of this book? You know, it talks about in verse 4 that they are descendants of the Jews. This was specifically to the Lamanites. This is what Joseph Smith mistakenly thought at the time he was composing his book, that the Indians are descendants of Jews. They're not. That's it, end of story. And here's Joseph Smith in his Wentworth letter explaining away his book, and I've just highlighted in bold some relevant bits. And now if you look along the bottom, he's talking about the principal nation of the second race. Alright, so those two nations, Nephites and Lamanites, And it says here, the principal nation of the second race fell in battle towards the close of the 4th century. The remnant are the Indians that now inhabit this country, okay? The remnant are the Indians. Right, it's quite clear. And here's Joseph Smith in a famous painting preaching to the Indians. Now what do you think he's telling them? He's holding a Book of Mormon. You know, he's telling about their forefathers, Lehi. He's telling them he's a great prophet, that he's had revelation from God, and his mission now is to tell them about their history. Well, he gave them a bogus history, because if he'd have got any revelation from God, he would have known that they came from Asia, and he would have been explaining about their migrations across the north of the globe around Alaska. So this picture is an absolute nonsense now. Okay, Moroni speaks of writing into his brethren, the Lamanites. We don't know who the Lamanites are by the sounds of it. Okay, and here's a good one in 2nd Nephi. It's talking about the Book of Mormon lands, you know, the Americas. When Lehi got there, it says that it shall be kept from all other nations. Okay, now the Mormon Church is admitting, well, the Mormon Church doesn't admit anything, to be honest. You get the non-official BYU scholars, whoever they are. Well, I wouldn't call them scholars. They're actually accepting now that America was occupied by Indians, Asians. So how does this fit in? A land kept from the knowledge of other nations? It's ridiculous. It is truly ridiculous. And here we have a proclamation, more nonsense, and that's putting it politely. 1845, official church proclamation. We bear testimony that the Indians, so-called of North and South America, are a remnant of the tribes of Israel. Well, they're not. They're Asians. So if anybody at the time could have tried to tell these poor deluded apostles, or whatever they call themselves, it would have saved us all a lot of hassle in the future. Okay, and here we've got Spencer Kimball in his famous 1960 conference address, talking of American Indians as Lamanites, and worse still, he's talking about them changing colour. Alright, so there's some kind of home placement program that they'd put the children of American Indians in, and according to Kimball here, he thinks that these kids were changing colour, that they were turning white. I mean, is this a joke? What is this? Look at this. These young members of the church are changing to whiteness and delights them. We know where he gets that from, the Book of Mormon. It says that when the Indians come back to the truth of the gospel, they'll change white again. They were originally white, white Nephites. They went, you know, they were the brothers of Nephi. They started getting a bit filthy and loathsome. God changes the colour. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. That's all I can say. Okay, we've got gospel principles. I can't believe I even studied this book, and I was serious at the time. Anyway, the Lamanites will become a great people. Well, we don't know who the Lamanites are, do we, anymore? Well, I know they are. They're just fictitious characters. So there you go. I could have added a lot more. I could have added the temple dedicatory prayers given by church so-called prophets, given in the Latin Americas to those Lamanites, who are really Asian people, telling them that they're descendants of the Lehi. Alright, now this is almost laughable if it wasn't so serious. Anyway, take care, and all being well, we'll meet again in the not too distant future. Thank you. Bye bye.